You're now outside the Beltway. I'm John Fredericks, and I am your blowtorch, your free speech in America, your oracle of the deplorables. Thanks for being with us. Todd Sheets with us. Phone lines are open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Great to have you with us today, as always. And I want to give a shout out to my good friend, Julio Gonzalez, who's going to be here on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Just got something in my eye here, so hang on a second. I don't know what that is, eyelash or something. And he's going to be here on Thursday. Mike, if you could take me off screen a minute. Let me get this thing out of my eye. Thank you. Okay. Wow. All right. Julio Gonzalez is going to be here on Thursday. And don't forget, Julio, Engineered Tax Services, one of the most brilliant things ever. This is tax literacy for MAGA. Tax literacy for MAGA. Engineered Tax Services. All you have to do, he saved Ann and I $15,000 in 2026. We sent them our 24 taxes. And they did an evaluation and they said, here's $15,000 you could have saved. Sent it back to our accountant who said, hey, they're right. Let's do this in 26. Unbelievable. So he found it because the tax code is 2 million pages. That's why the billionaires don't pay any tax, because they got lawyers to read 2 million pages and we don't. So he saved us $15,000. Cost me nothing. I pay him 5 to 10% of what I save. So, I mean, 10% of 15,000 is $1,500. So I get net 3,500. You'd have to be an idiot not to do this. And it doesn't cost you anything. Let him look at your taxes. Send him your 25s. But before you file, send him to Julio and let those guys look it over. And they might save you 4, 5, 6,000, 2,000, anything. But just check it out. All you have to do is text the letters ETS for Engineered Tax Services, ETS, to 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Again, text the letters ETS to 26786, and they're going to get back to you immediately, and you're going to be in good shape, because if they don't find anything, they don't. So you don't have anything to lose. It's all upside, no downside. Tax literacy for MAGA. Okay, we got Todd Sheets with us. Todd, phone lines are packed. They want to talk to you. This is your Substack audience, baby. Let's go. Line 3, Julie in Tennessee. You're on with John and Todd. Julie, go ahead.
Oh, good. I'm so excited. I love you, John.
Thank
for
you.
a long time. You get too fired up, I'm worried about you. So I'm going to try to calm you down.
Okay.
I think a little differently. I'm kind of with the guy before. I think what I would do would pull everybody back so the demonic Dems think that they're winning. We know who's on the Signal chat. Investigate every single one. Arrest the ones we can arrest. There's face recognition that we can find a lot of people. And I'd do that. Then I would put ICE and border control back in, and there won't be mobs because they'll be in jail. What do you think of that?
Sounds good, but based on Pam Bondi's record of arresting people with Kash Patel, I wouldn't place that particular wager. But it's a good strategy, but they don't do anything. There's been no arrest of anybody ever, and it's been 15 months, or 13 months. So, maybe things will change. I guess Pam Bondi was busy yesterday at making a speech to some Israeli American group. She's tied up, obviously. I mean, look, Julie, you're right on paper, but we're just not doing it. And so this again goes to the reality of the base, which I fear if we don't get him fired up and get him turned out in 2026, we're gonna lose the House, and then everything is going to go from there. Todd, you want to comment on Julie from Tennessee?
Yeah, the only thing I would add, John, is, and I agree with you on the base. I mean, this is a huge issue. I would encourage the base not to lose confidence and faith in Trump. I mean, I think we elected him to deal with this immigration issue, but I believe from a bigger picture issue, we elected him to implement regime change domestically and internationally. That means turn around 30 years of failed policies, domestic, economic, cultural, social, political, and international, that have put us in a more dangerous place. And I think he is by far, he's the only guy on the world stage that I've seen that can do that, that has even a chance of doing that. I think he is doing that. Some mistakes are going to be made at various points along the way. And wherever you pick in Minneapolis, whether it's now backing out or, as I suggested, a month ago in escalating in the first place, a mistake was made. But we should stay behind Trump. We should stay supportive of him. And we should understand we have the only and the best guy possible trying to change the misdirection of the country for the last 30 years as he goes about doing the best that he can with this situation. And we've also got a guy with incredible political instincts who has ended up winning every one of these battles.
Well, Todd, well, he didn't win the battle in 2018. But look, I agree with that. I agree with everything you're saying. And President Trump has been the most consequential president in probably a century, maybe 2 centuries. So I agree with that. We all support him. But there's a distinction between I support President Trump, I support the movement, I support everything he does, and I disagree with him on a specific issue.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think one of the problems that a lot of us on our side fall into is, somebody disagrees with him here, therefore you've lost confidence in him. No, I don't agree with that decision. Okay? If I'm a Denver Broncos fan, I have to love my coach, Sean Payton. Have to. Look what he did with that team. And I'm not a fan. I did bet them, though, and win the bet, so I'm happy. But I can disagree when he had 4th and 1.5 on the 12-yard line with a quarterback that hasn't thrown a pass in 3 seasons, that you kick the field goal. I think if they kick that field goal, they win that game. So I can disagree with Peyton's call. Doesn't mean I don't think he's a great coach and revitalize that entire organization in Denver. So I think that's really what the distinction is. Julie, I love bringing in these football analogies, Todd, especially when I went 10-2 against the spread in the playoffs.
Wow.
I always crush Vegas. Julie, I'll give you the final word. Julie, go ahead.
Okay. And whatever I do, whether it's bad or whatever, I always try to look positive and have something funny. And if I was there in ICE, I would have gotten all the fire trucks out and I would have hosed all those rioters and they would have stood still frozen. That would be kind of a funny sight.
Plus, a lot of them look like they haven't bathed in a while, so that you might have been doing them a favor. You hose them down, right? Get them a little cleaned up. Give them a towel, some soap. They're good to go. Julie in Tennessee, thank you. Robert Saleh, new coach of the Titans. Do I like him? You know what? Maybe, maybe not. I would have preferred Mike McCarthy, but if he wins, we're all happy. If he loses, whatever. Same old story with Amy. Line 1, Adrian in Virginia. You're on with John and Todd. Adrian, go ahead. You there, Adrian?
Hey,
go
John.
ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, brother. Yeah. No, hey, I want to thank for taking my call. You can check the records, and I think Rabbi Macon, I think that's how you say his name, he agreed with me after I called and said this. This is going to be ugly. Oh, I said this, but he agreed. This is going to be ugly. I told you this from the beginning, as when Trump got elected and we started doing this, that when ICE came out and all this was going to start happening, that it wasn't going to be a pretty sight. That we knew that they had to figure out how they were going to change the narrative or the optics or however you want to phrase it, and they haven't. I like what Todd is saying, and I think he wants this to start turning around and go better for the country and go better for Trump and America. I sincerely believe that. But I guess the Texas boy in me doesn't allow me to fall for that. We had something called the Alamo. We had a brave colonel named B. Travis, who came over and drew a line and said, "You're either with me or you're not." You told us, John, to wait till July 4th, 6 months, and give Trump an opportunity to do what he's going to do. We knew he was going to make mistakes. We knew that things weren't going to go right, but we got so much pushback on this. So I'm riding with Trump on this one. And if you don't like it, kick rocks and go hang out with the Democrats. I'm tired of this little crybaby stuff of, oh, we got to do better. We got to try to do that. As if the Democrats ever do that. This is what I don't understand, is that they never hold back. They punch us in the face, they kick us in the you-know-what, and they move on and laugh in our faces, and we sit here and try to compromise how we're going to do things. No, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm tired of sitting. This is why I'm not a Republican anymore. I'm an independent, because Republicans don't fight. They are the weak side of the aisle. They can't ever get their thoughts together. I mean, look at the Democrats in Virginia, buddy. Look at them. Kicking butt. I love it. I hate what they're doing. I hate the laws they're passing, but I love that they kick butt and govern and make things happen, unlike Republicans. So you know what? With all due respect to Todd and the young lady who just called and all that, no, Trump, put these people's face in the snow and put your foot on their neck and kick them out. I'm tired of this. Go Trump, go America. I'm with him. He drew the line. He needs to keep fighting. I agree with you. If we pull back, they win. And I'm tired of losing.
Todd?
Well, look, I share exactly the same sentiment. I want this country turned around and going in a completely different direction. We have to reestablish meritocracy as opposed to DEI. We have to reestablish capitalism as opposed to socialism. We have to be ready to act on the international stage instead of being afraid to act in the way Trump has done it so far, which preserves lives. I just think, and look, we are at one of those critical moments. I think all of us agree on the big picture objective. We've just got to figure out how to get through this moment. And, my sense of it is the one that I expressed earlier. I respect the one that you guys have as well. These are the moments that define a presidency and determine where things are going to go. And I think, at the end of the day, all of us have to hope that Trump's instincts about how to handle this particular situation so that we can get back on the agenda of regime change are correct.
Okay, well, Todd, respect your opinion. Let's get to the final caller. Adrian, thank you. I'm kind of with Adrian on this one. Thank you, Adrian. And if certainly you look at what they've done in Virginia in 1 week, it's breathtaking. Like, we could never do that. We'd be too afraid of something. We'd find something to be scared of. Our own shadow, maybe. Line 2, Paul in Michigan. You're on with Todd Sheets and John. Paul, go ahead, sir. Paul, you there? All right. Looks like we lost.
Yeah. Two things.
Go ahead, Paul.
No, I'm here.
Go ahead.
So 2 things: strategy and tactics. So first of all, I think that Trump or somebody in his administration needs to weekly, daily, whatever, start standing up and telling people what's happening. Explain to everybody that this is a color revolution. Okay, that is coming at us. These are standard tactics of bringing communism in by creating chaos and violence, like they're doing, is standard operating procedure. Explain that to people first of all, so everybody knows what's happening, right? And then and also to justify the actions on why we got to put a stop to it. Then explain that all these people that are been brought into our country are been brought here to destroy our culture and our values. They're not going to assimilate. That is why they all have to go, right? And stop talking about we're just going to get criminals out. They all have to go. Say that over and over. And then it would be, we know who these people are. That's funny.
WJFN.
Go ahead, Paul. We're sorry.
This is an insurgence by the book, right? There's money behind this. There's organization. Look at the J6. the way the Democrats turned that. There was no money, no formal organization. They turned that into the worst thing since Pearl Harbor. This situation right here has got money and organization. It should all be exposed every day over and over and over. And all they have to do is bring in a National Guard or some other force in order to protect those ICE agents and round these people up. We know who they are that are flying in from all over the country. They're staying at hotels. Go get them and arrest them and charge them. Get them off the streets. Because that would be very simple. If we went and picked them up off the streets, in their hotels, wherever they're at, whatever safe houses.
Well, but Paul, on what charges? You can't just pick people up on what charges?
Well, you can charge them on, first of all, this insurrection, right? This is an organized insurrection interfering with lawful, with lawful.
That's. I mean, that would be the people throwing, ice bottles at him. Yes, but just for the average people that are protesting. I mean, we have First Amendment rights in this country, so you can't just go in and arrest.
No, we have a constitutional right to peacefully assemble. We don't have a right to protest violently with whistles.
You're right about that. And the other thing that nobody's brought up here is there is a law that says if you're in a protest, you can't bring a gun. So the guy brought a gun,
right?
And then the guy had concealed carry. No, I wanted to ask this question yesterday. I can't get anybody to answer it. Minneapolis police chief went on to expound on the fact that the guy was a lawful gun owner, the guy that got shot, the deceased, and then he had a concealed carry permit. Well, I have a concealed carry permit. Can't have a gun in Washington, D.C. Sorry, can't have it. So we don't, because I abide by the law. However, if you have a concealed carry permit, why wouldn't your gun be concealed? That's what I mean. The purpose of the concealed carry permit is to conceal your weapon. Otherwise, why get it? So he concealed it, but then he pulled it out. Well, why would you pull it out if you don't have to pull it out? What would be the purpose of pulling out your gun? That nobody will answer me this question. I'm going to ask it to Todd. You have a gun. You have a concealed carry permit. You're at a mob. Your people are pushing and shoving ICE officers. Your gun is concealed. You have a permit for that. Good for you. I got one too. I'm sure Todd does. You take out your gun. Now it's unconcealed. ICE says, give me your weapon because you're waving it around and this is a tense situation and we don't want it to go off and get shot. So give me your gun. And you refuse. And then you have to take it from him forcefully. And then you get into a shoving match. And then you take the gun and then you pull your phone out. Somebody thinks you're pulling out another gun and they shoot you. Can somebody answer me this one question? Why did he take the gun out? Can somebody if you answer me that question, I'll stop about this and we'll go on to tax cuts or something. Can somebody answer that for me, Todd? Can you answer that?
No, but I think this is the stuff that will come out as we get into the full review of all the body cams and all those kinds of things. This is why, look, it is incredibly important that we don't rush to judgment against the ICE agents on the ground. They may have acted inappropriately, but we won't know that until all these facts are on the table, all the evidence has been reviewed, all the video, including the body cams and all that kind of thing. And then maybe we'll have those answers, and that may affect our decision about that particular incident.
Todd, I got to go. We're out of time. Paul, Michigan, thank you. Thank you for all our callers. Todd, people want to follow you on Substack. Where do they go?
Yeah, just search Todd Sheets on Wealth and Progress, or you can go to my website, toddsheetswriter.com, and you can connect to it from there.